Shay, how are you? It's so good to
I'm
see you.
great. I'm great. I've been enjoying the summit. As you know, I tuned in yesterday. I've been here today since you got started. I'm enjoying it. If y'all don't get the replay, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because this is too much information for your notes and for you to remember. You need to get the replays.
I agree. And thank you so much for being here. So I want to give you a nice introduction. So you guys, we're going to be talking about creating life freedom. So Shay is from the US, just like me, but she's a fractional chief operating officer. She's going to go into what that actually means. But her whole goal with her clients, and she works with top CEOs, C-suite executives, to creating time freedom, because that's ultimately what we all want, right? It's short. We don't have that much to live, and we need to live it well. So how can we adjust our life so that we're not working all the time? So, and I'd like to read a quote from what you shared is, you believe that business ownership should create freedom. Your freedom looks like living and working your business from all over the world. And then with that, I'd like to pass it over to you. Tell us about yourself. Tell us where you're living and kind of like how you're helping people create time freedom and what that looks like.
No problem. So yes, I'm a fractional chief operating officer, and I know you guys probably say, I know what a chief operating officer is, but what the heck is this fractional part? And that just means I work with more than one CEO, right? So I work in 7-figure, multiple 6-figure, and 6-figure businesses. So the fractional is they get a fraction of my time, right? And so that's what my business is. I'm a fractional CEO, COO for different businesses. And like Shauna said, I have this mission though, right? Because I can't really work with everybody's business. So I have a mission of putting information out there that is transformational for small business owners, right? So some of you have small businesses. I saw somebody earlier say they're just trying to make the money, right? They're already starting their freedom journey, but they want to make sure they make the money, right? So my journey is to help people just like that. You have a business and you're trying to figure out how to make that business profitable, make your first 6 figures, right? So my goal, okay, and the full mission is to help you to make sense of your business so that it makes money and creates time freedom, right? A lot of you have started businesses and you're your own worst boss, the worst boss you've ever had in life. You know, you don't allow yourself breaks, you know, you don't allow yourself vacation time, right? You're not paying yourself enough, right? Because freedom is more than just entrepreneurship. Although you can find the freedom in entrepreneurship, you still have to know what it is that your goal is, right? So what I say is time is currency, right? And most people have to learn how to spend it in alignment with the life that they say that they want. Right? So you became a small business owner for this freedom, but then you don't create the freedom for yourself. So let me just tell you, I am not a fan of hustle and grind. I am not a fan of team no sleep. I am in team mo sleep, MO, right? I won't.
Because resonate with that team. Mo sleep. Put me or put more sleep in the chat.
Exactly. Because this is the problem. When you start off grinding and you don't build the business around the life that you want, more than likely you're going to have to keep grinding to make money, right? But if you start the business off saying, this is the life that I want, and I'm going to build the business around it, then you have a better life-work balance, right? I would hate to see you guys move to some of these beautiful countries and be stuck behind a computer 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
Come on. Right? You're kind of not doing what you're supposed to do there, right? So things have to be in alignment. And so at the end of the day, money is a tool, and that tool is to get you the freedom. And so that's pretty much what I do. And again, my freedom looks like working my business from anywhere in the world. I started my journey in Belize. I lived in Mexico for 3 years, and I'm currently in the beef and tango capital of the world, Buenos Aires, Argentina. And it's also currently the World Cup capital of the world for a little while, right? So shout out to Avery. I know she just left the country. I don't know if she was in Buenos Aires though, but yes, that's what my freedom looks like. But your business should be setting up freedom the way you need it to, right? So some of you on your road to moving out of the country, maybe your freedom looks like being able to stand in the gap for a loved one during medical emergencies. Maybe it looks like being able to go to the schools for your children's programs and things like that. All of that is still rooted in time freedom. So that's my mission. That's what I do. And I hope that it gets you guys on the right start. I know I kind of gut punched you with the, freedom don't look like you think, but yeah, I hope you learn from it and make that shift.
I love that. And so how did you originally start working with, because a lot of people here are CEOs, they own their own business, they're remote workers, but it's true what you said, we can be our worst enemy. And I resonate because I have an agency, I do web design and social media. So it's like, I sometimes get in my own way and I don't establish those self-care routines. And it's like, I hold this standard that I have to be, this high, and then I'm not enjoying life. So like, what do you do with CEOs like to help them? And what do you kind of establish?
Okay, so I gave it like a little formula, right? So I call it CEO life design because it's more than just life design because I work specifically with business owners. And so I help them to realize that their time freedom should be funded by the business, but it should result in a healthy lifestyle and a desirable lifestyle, right? Because how you spend your time is literally your life. Right. So I know you guys have heard the saying that, on the tombstone, there's the date of birth and then there's the date of death, but the dash was the life. Yeah, so what you're doing now in between you getting to your goals, that's your actual life. And so you have to plan for that. You have to be intentional about it. So I created a framework. And the first part is that they kind of figure out what is their recurring week in their business, right? Kind of write down what the recurring week was. I heard you guys talking about it earlier. Some people have days where they take client meetings. Some people have days where they have production and days they don't work at all, right? Well, you need to know what that looks like so that you can kind of know what time slots you have open, right? The second thing I need you to do is have a one calendar system, okay? Some of you have a calendar for your business, a calendar for the kids' sports, a calendar for date night, a calendar for your personal stuff, right? You do not have an accurate view of your life doing that. You need a one calendar system. Or what happens is over here, you think you have more time than you have. Over here, you think you have more time than you have. You end up overbooking yourself, right? And so you need a one calendar system so that you can have a realistic view. I heard somebody talking about routines, right? So you need a morning routine. And I want you to do three things with your morning routine. I want you to set your energy, if that's meditation, prayer, whatever, and add a little movement, okay? I want you to set the bar. That means, figure out what your intentions and goals are for the day. And I want you to set the schedule, right? Review the schedule that you set the night before and confirm one or two tasks as the priority, okay? So that's the first thing I want you to do. Now let's talk about your work day. You should have productivity on your calendar. A lot of you have deadlines, but you didn't put anything on your calendar to meet the deadline. That's production time, right? And so I'm going to say, please have the hard deadline, which is when it's really due, but add in a soft deadline because y'all know life be lifing, right? So you need to add in a soft deadline that's like 2 or 3 days before that hard deadline so that you get things done. And I want you to pay attention because in that time that you earmark to get certain things done, I need you to do what you earmark it to do. So I need you to watch out for distractions. And guess what? The number one thing you can ever do for yourself and others, hold some boundaries, y'all. Okay, hold some boundaries. If you know you're a people pleaser, stop being as accessible while you build up that muscle of saying no, right? But you have to honor boundaries because when you don't do what you say you're going to do in the time that you earmarked it, you're disappointing yourself and you're not going to get to that way of life that you want in that way, right? I do things like you can't get me on any of my personal devices, like you can't text me. I have other things set up, that kind of thing. If you want to go to shacannon.com/hours, right? Y'all will see I'm a boundary girl. That page is not even accessible to the public. That page is for my clients. And let me tell you, your girl got a lot of boundaries, okay? My month is 4 weeks. On 5th week, I take what I call a 5th week vacation. Okay, nice. My time is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's Eastern time. I don't care where in the world you are, and I don't care where in the world I am. My business runs on Eastern time, right? I have no talk Friday. Don't send me an email and expect a response. I don't schedule meetings on Fridays, none of that, right? So you have to have your boundaries. And so mine might be a little extreme, but that it could be a template that you look at, right? Now let's go to the evening, right? Because you should have a hard stop. I actually have a soft stop and a hard stop. Y'all know I like soft and hard, right? Because life. But I have the soft stop so that I can at least get ready for the hard stop. If I just had something that says wake up or stop working, there was no kind of settle down for me. And I'm going to go past that very easy, right? So I have a soft stop to my day, 4 p.m. Hard stop, 5 p.m. I'm stopping, I'm done. Okay. And then I have evening routine. Now, the whole point of your evening routine is to wind down. So with your evening routine, I want you to do 3 things. Okay. I want you to set up the next day before you log out. Those 1 or 2 tasks that in the morning you're going to confirm, right? I want you to set up your wind down. How do you come away from work and relax? How do you come away from screens? Did you know that when you go from the computer screen to your iPad screen, to your phone screen, to the TV screen, too much screen time, right? It interrupts the, what do they call it? The circadian rhythm?
Yes.
Look it up. Look, that might be way too healthy for me, but look it up. All the screen time doesn't help you to wind down. And the last thing that I want you to do in your evening routine is to settle into the routine, right? Create the calm and the reset. What does that look like for you? I have a friend that drinks tea in the evenings, every evening as a part of her wind down. Okay. What does your wind down look like? Some of you might like wine for the wind down, right? So red wine, I hear it's healthy, even if you drink it every day. Red wine.
Who does the wind down? I think
So,
we just created a new evening wind down.
Yes, you should. I'm just
Raise
saying.
your hand if you have a routine for winding down.
Yes,
I'll be honest, I don't. And if you don't, don't. If you do, put me. I'd like to see, just to like, it's very easy to get consumed in the, we're just not aware of this. And I'm so happy that you're bringing this awareness to everybody, because that's what it takes to be successful. That's what it takes to have a successful business, to work remote in different time zones. Okay, keep going.
Oh, no problem. So yeah, I just need you to be intentional, right? Because all of this is your actual life. And we don't think about it when we're just going with other people's flow, right? Anytime you look up and you realize I'm not living the life I wanted, that means you're stuck in a flow that was not intentional, right? And it's probably a flow that doesn't belong to you. So many people give their time to so many other people and don't understand you're literally giving your life to other people. And you wonder why it's not serving you, but it's serving others. So you have to be intentional, because you get the life that you're intentional about, not the life that you want. So I infuse all of this with my CEOs, as well as setting up structure and strategy and clarity in their businesses. And they're way happier in their business as they're making the money that they want to make. So yeah, important.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think these are so valuable. I really appreciate you sharing this. And can you tell us all, like, what is your day-to-day, what does your life look like? And I mean, where you're at, the location, what you see, just kind of walk us through your day. Like, what do you do in Argentina? I want people to see what a life like this can look like, because I know a lot of people, they're getting through blocks. I had to get through those blocks too, but kind of paint us a picture of what your day looks like, not just work, but the whole thing.
Oh, yes, not a problem, not a problem. So what I want to say, first of all, is I am a solo female traveler, right? But what I need you to understand is you're never really anywhere by yourself, okay? Wherever you go, your people are there, okay? I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're Black. I don't care if you're Australian. I don't care what your group is that are your people. Exactly, they're there. Okay, so you can do just a little bit of research and find them before you even get there. On Facebook, there are all these Facebook groups that are expats in, and all you got to do is put in whatever country, whatever city, whatever state in the country, right? And you can find people, right? If you want to find specific people, you can put Black expats in. You can put Australian expats in, right? So you will find them. You can even use digital nomad, right? Because you can find your people. And sometimes they're not on Facebook, sometimes they're on WhatsApp, but even if you find some expats, they can point you in the right direction to what you want. They can answer questions for you, like what neighborhood would best fit the lifestyle that you want, all of that. You can find your people, okay? Now, when you get here, let me tell you what I love to do. Airbnb experiences is all over the world, okay? So some of the first things that I did before I even joined the groups for stuff, right? Because the groups were having activities all the time, but I didn't know if I would necessarily enjoy those because I hadn't done my research yet. So I booked tours, walking tours and other kind of tours from Airbnb experiences. I've done a cocktail tour, all kind of things, because here they have what they call Fernet and Coke. They don't really have cocktails. I'm a cocktail girl, and I would go to restaurants and couldn't order a cocktail. I was kind of disturbed, right? But they had a cocktail tour, and I learned, oh, it's because I'm going to the wrong places, right? So you can definitely learn about your environment, learn the history of, learn the culture of, okay? Also, don't just immerse yourself in other aspects. You need to have a local experience too, right? So get in with the locals. They have activities all the time. So get in with the locals too. So my day, going back to the question, looks like working my day, having my hard stop and deciding what do I want to do in the evening. Do I want to take part in a activity with the group? There are the Black expats, there are expats, there are digital nomads, there are women, there are so many different groups that are having activities that I can be a part of, right? I don't really tend to do that during the week. I really kind of save it to the weekend so that I can get rest. I told y'all I'm team most sleep. Okay, so I like to get my sleep. And Argentina is 2 hours ahead of Eastern time, which really affects you in the evenings. And so I kind of, during the week, I kind of chill out. I might be Netflix and chill, that type of thing. But I think for my lifestyle, I am so intentional, y'all. I wanted a life on vacation. So get this, I don't do domestic stuff, y'all. I don't do domestic stuff. It's beyond me now, right? So yeah. I do have a housekeeper that comes in every week, right? There's this app called Rappi that would be kind of like your Uber Eats or your DoorDash and all that kind of stuff, that you have access to all the good restaurants, all the convenient restaurants. And so most often during the week, I have them deliver every meal, okay? I make sure that I get some movement in, because you guys can be very sedentary when you work on computers, right? So I live on the 4th floor. I have Rappi deliver at least twice a day. So I go down the stairs and up the stairs at least twice a day. I don't take the elevator to get those steps in, right? Sometimes I go and I work remote from a coffee shop. So that way I can kind of people watch and get stuff done and spark that creativity. But yeah, on the weekends, I'm doing all kind of stuff. Tours to the Delta or the river, tours around town. I'm creative, so I like to sketch. So I've been to the museums, and I even, y'all, Tinder is also international. So I have a dating life out here in Argentina. So amazing. I'm doing all kind of things, right? I have a very full life here in Argentina.
That is so cool. And I just love the energy you bring. And I think a lot of people are definitely resonating with that. The energy you bring, the spirit for life, the unafraid to just go, and you're respectful of your time, and you're respectful of what you really want. And I think that's inspiring. And that's kind of like pushing all of us to want to like reevaluate, how are we doing things? How are we being productive? Or are we just, because we could just be reactive. Oh, da, 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 da. And I really see that this is a very important step that we all need to take. So thank you for sharing with like what your day looks like. And what is it that you would suggest for people that they want to move abroad in 12 months or less, right? They have a business, they have a remote job, and things are holding them back. Like, what are your secrets to get it done? And it sounds like everything you kind of told us about the organization, the goals, the setting the intentions to get all that stuff done, like what Rochelle was talking about. It looks like it's over here and it's so overwhelming. How am I going to get over the mountain? What would you suggest? Like, what are your secrets for this specific thing of like living abroad, living a lifestyle like you?
So the first thing I would say is you can get Rochelle's, checklist, right? But the problem for most people doing something like this is going to be fear, right? And so you have to overcome that fear. I'm gonna tell you, when I decided to go to Belize, and I finally put it on Facebook, you guys would not believe the comments that I got about, oh no, they're killing tourists, they're doing this, they're doing that, it's not safe, there's so much crime, there's this, there's that. It took me aback, right? So you already have your own fears, and then you're gonna have to deal with the fears of others. But let me tell you something about fear. Fear is always about the unknown. Right? Fear is about the unknown. So what I'm going to task you with is get information, right? Get as much information as possible so it's not as unknown to you. So you can normalize it and kind of, educate yourself on things. That's why it's great to get in these Facebook groups before you ever come. right? It's great to figure out, is that culture for you? What are some of the complaints they're saying? What are some of the problems that they're saying, right? You can get all the good tips. I will tell you, when I moved to Belize, I paid for my full 3 months up front. Now, it just so happened I had a great experience, but I learned from other digital nomads and experts, expats, you're not supposed to do that because it's sight unseen. You don't know where you're going, and now you're stuck there for 3 months. Like, don't do that. But I learned that from other expats in groups. So familiarize yourself, right? Go ahead and Google and get in contact with and all of this. Shauna has given you guys a resource of a whole community of people who are doing what you want to do. Use this resource and get familiar. So your first thing is going to be to overcome the fear, because if you don't overcome your own fear, when other people bring you their fear, it's only going to compound it and you're never going to have this life. Never. Uh-oh, you're muted, Shauna.
Oh, oops, sorry about that. It's very heartfelt, so true. How many of you guys resonate? Me, please put me in the chat. I'd love to know if there's any questions. I mean, this is some powerful stuff. You work with top CEOs, COOs. How do we, so go ahead and raise your hand first of all.
Somebody raise their hand. And while they're doing that, Sean, I'm gonna give you, I kind of gave one secret, right? Which was money is the tool. Money is not the goal, right? So you have a business to make money, but money is not the goal. The money is for you to buy your time back, okay? And then fill that time with the life that you want, okay? So because of how you spend your time, again, that's literally your life. So that's a huge secret. But another secret is, wherever you go, there you are, okay? So please don't take these limitations, these biases, these restraints that you have into the other countries. Make it an opportunity for you to learn about different cultures and learn and have different experiences, okay? Don't, it's kind of like going to the steak restaurant and ordering chicken nuggets, okay? Your experience is going to be colored by who you are and the chances that you take, okay? So if you're in the steak restaurant, please have a great steak, okay? If you're in another country, try some of the foods, try some of the things that the locals do. Understand that their culture is not like the US anyway. It's not so go, grind. It's more of, I love it in Mexico where they say the culture of mañana, which is tomorrow, but tomorrow could mean next week, 2 months from now. You learn how to slow down because nobody is rushing with you, right? I see Monica asked something, right?
Yep. Love it. You guys, please feel free to raise your hand. I want to open it up. But I do have more questions. What are like the biggest struggles? Because I know you've lived in Belize, you've lived in Mexico, and now you're in Argentina. And how long are you going to stay in Argentina? I'm curious, but what were the biggest struggles? And I'm sure there's constant struggles, right? Like even now.
Well, I wouldn't say constant struggles, right? And that, again, might be my point of view on the world, right? So I don't seek struggle, so struggle doesn't find me, right? But I will tell you some of the inconveniences that I've had here in Argentina. It's very much the beef capital of the world. It's meat everywhere. It's hard, y'all. I love steak. And when I first got here, steak every day because it is so great. Then I started feeling that blood pressure rise up and I realized, oh, it's because you're eating steak and potatoes every day for every meal. So I have to struggle to find good vegetarian or vegetable options, right? Just to kind of balance it out. There's not a lot of spice here. So when I went home and came back, I brought back some Frank's Red Hot sauce. I brought back some Tony Satchery seasoning. And I'm from the South, so your girl likes her grits. And you know, you're not finding grits pretty much outside the South, let alone outside the country. So yeah. Now I will say, sometimes you have to learn how to best utilize the currency, right? The currency. In Mexico, you know, I could use the ATM without a problem. I could use my card without my debit card without a problem. Here in Argentina, it's a little different, right? They encourage you to be cash-based. Well, cash-based is kind of inconvenient for me, y'all. But you know, you get what's called the blue rate if you go cash-based, which means you're going to get double your money's worth. And all of your US-based debit cards may not work here. Right. So I have like a card through Wise, WISE.com. It used to be TransferWise. I have my PayPal card, which tends to be more international. So I can, and they're all linked to the same banks. And so I can use either or, right? So those are some of the kind of struggles, but my life, I have to admit, y'all, my life is not a struggle at all. Yes, Charles Schwab is great too, but I know that Charles Schwab, if you don't have good credit, they won't give you an account.
Amazing. I love everything that you're doing. And thank you for tuning in all the way from Argentina. I hope she was inspiring to you. Please put thank you in the chat. I know she poured her heart and soul. I know that you guys can see this, that she wants people to have success. And
Yeah.
but in the free gift is the CEO Life Design Planner. So this
Yeah.
is if you want to just touch on that in a couple seconds, what that is, so people can
I can definitely do it in a couple of seconds. It's basically going to help you to be intentional with your actual life design, right? So I gave you tips on how to be efficient and have time management, but this planner is going to help you be intentional about the life that you want in 10 different areas of life, right? So I'm getting you to actually design the life, right? So that's what that planner is. So I want you to get started planning that life.
Thank you so much. And I wanted to bring Allison on here, and I want to introduce you guys before Shay heads out. I know she's going to be still in the audience, but Shay, please meet Allison. She's going to be talking about budgeting and financial tips to get people in the right position to like leave in 12 months.